what has really transpired, which has created the issue, and why that issue is today relevant to debating it today. In 1974, India and Sri Lanka, in June 1974, concluded an agreement where they drew their maritime boundary. And in drawing the maritime boundary, Kachatibu was put on the Sri Lankan side of the boundary. This agreement of 1974 had three other clauses. One clause which said that each country shall have sovereignty and exclusive jurisdiction and control over the waters. The second clause, Article 5, it gave to Indian fishermen that they will continue to access Kachatibu as hitherto and will not be required to obtain travel documents. And the third one, that the vessels of India and Sri Lanka will enjoy in each other's waters such rights that they have traditionally enjoyed. So this was the agreement which was reached in 1974 in June. Now when this agreement was presented before Parliament, the then Foreign Minister, Sri Swaran Singh ji, he actually assured the Parliament, and I am reading his words, I feel confident that the agreement demarcating the maritime boundary in the Pork Bay will be considered as fair, just and equitable to both countries. At the same time, I wish to remind the honourable members that in concluding this agreement, the rights of fishing, please note, the rights of fishing, pilgrimage and navigation, which both sides have enjoyed in the past, have been fully safeguarded for the future. This was the assurance that the then Foreign Minister, Sri Swaran Singh ji, gave in Parliament at that time. 1974, July 23, 1974. Now, in less than 2 years, actually, there was another agreement between India and Sri Lanka through an exchange of letters. And in this agreement, now India proposed the following. Again, I am reading to you from the original document. With the establishment of the exclusive economic zones by the two countries, India and Sri Lanka will exercise sovereign rights over the living and non-living resources of their respective zone. The fishing vessels and fishermen of India shall not engage in fishing in the historic waters, the territorial sea and the exclusive zone of Sri Lanka. So, 1974 assurance is given. By 1976, an agreement is concluded which actually gives away this assurance. Now, once this agreement in 1976 was concluded, there then evolved a position, a standard position you can say, of the government on this matter. And I am reading to you an example. This is from 2006. It is a question which is answered by the then Minister E. Ahmed on the floor of the Parliament. And he says, Mr. Ahmed, the 1974 agreement on the demarcation of the international maritime boundary line between India and Sri Lanka, as also the exchange of letters of 1976 on this issue of fishing rights, stipulate that the fishing vessels and fishermen of India shall not engage in fishing in the historic waters, territorial seas and the EEZ of Sri Lanka. So this is now the position which is taken by the government as a regular position. I am only giving you one example from 2006. So what has happened? What has been the consequence of this? In the last 20 years, 6,184 Indian fishermen have been detained by Sri Lanka. 6,184. And in the same period, 1,175 fishing vessels, Indian fishing vessels, have been seized, detained, apprehended by the Sri Lankans. So this is really today the background. This is the issue that we are discussing. Now you can ask, why are we discussing it? And the answer is, in the last 5 years, in the Parliament, in the Consultative Committee, we have repeatedly, this issue, Kachativu issue and the fishermen's issue, has been repeatedly raised by various parties, by all parties, I would say. As I mentioned, in Parliament it has come up as Parliament question, it has come up in debates, it has been raised in the Consultative Committee, and in fact, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu has written to me numerous times, and my record shows that to the current Chief Minister, I have myself replied 21 times on this issue. So please understand, this is not an issue which has suddenly surfaced. This is a live issue. It is an issue which has been very much debated in Parliament.
तो विदेश मंत्री एस जयशंकर को आप सुन रहे